Good morning. Okay. Friends, as part of first day Power Apps demo, we discussed like multiple things. What is Power App and what kind of environment it is, and who are all the targeted persons, where do we use it, and why do we use that? These are the major touch points which we discussed on, on Saturday as part of first day demo, right? So I think I have already shared the recording session. If you haven't received the recording session, you can share me your email ID and then contact number so that I can share it again. Okay, I can share it again. Okay, guys, feel free to provide your email ID and then contact number. Right. So as part of that, initially we discussed Power Platform where you can see multiple and different components like Power Apps, Dataverse, Power Platform. We also call it as a Microsoft Flow, Power BI, and Power Virtual Agent. There are the different components fall under Power Apps. Since we are going to focus on this one, I am going to talk about this predominantly, right? Yes. Actual sessions will be starting from tomorrow onwards, sir, on a different link, right? So, yes. Okay. Sir, Power Platform, it's a totally a suite where you can see Power Apps application, Dataverse, and then Power BI, and then Power Automate and Virtual Agent. So Power Apps is a low code, no code like a cloud-based environment where you can design different types of web, mobile, and a tablet device-based applications with a simple low code, no code, without writing a single line of code. Of course, you can connect and extract the data from multiple and different data sources, including SharePoint, Office 365, Dynamic 365, SQL Server, Excel, whatnot. Any database, any file system can be connected each other, right? So Power Apps is an application, the low code, no code application, what we call it as. It's a cloud-based environment where you can create the applications and where you can deploy the applications to the cloud as well. Okay, right. And the main target audience, like who uses this one, means citizen developers. A developer, a person, right? Who has fully functional knowledge. Functional means application knowledge and very less technical knowledge. Citizen developers means developer means a person who has fully functional knowledge, a minimal technical information, right? So for this purpose, Microsoft has invented a platform and environment called Power Apps environment, where these people can generate their own applications for web or browser applications and then mobile applications and then tablet applications. Next one is Dataverse. Basically, it's an RDBMS, right? If you want to connect to Dataverse, right? Majorly, we go with model-driven applications. Oh, what do you mean by that? Today, I'm going to elaborate that, right? So, Dataverse is a storage in RDBMS where we store the data that is being used by your Power Apps. Your Power Apps. Next one is Power Automate RLC. Previously, formerly we call it as MS Flow. Power Automate is an RPA tool, robotic process automation tool. You can automate repetitive business process activities, right? That you have been doing manually for the past years. Whatever the business process, like for example, I want to book a ticket. It's a manual activity, right? I want to fill my credit card form. It's a manual activity. I want to apply for, what we call it as debit card application. It's a manual activity where you need to fill in. All these manual, repetitive business processes can be automated by using an RPA tool called Power Automate. RPA means RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. Business processes can be automated by using a robot. Power Apps is next one. Power Apps is the Power BI. Power BI is the data business intelligence data analytics tool where you can visualize your business data in a more understandable format and further analytics. All right. And then Power Virtual Agent. Basically, this is the place where we create the chatbot using, one of the finest AI tool called Copilot. AI, Microsoft AI Copilot. Copilot. So that is about by combining all these five components, we call it as a power platform, which is going to be a tough competitor for UiPath automation suite, where you can see apps, power apps, insights, data visualization. A SQL Server is nothing but a data wars. UiPath Studio and Orchestrator is nothing but Power Automate. And this one as well. Okay. So it's an example, and this is the actual thing that we are going to focus on. Along with that, we already also discussed about what is the IDE. Where do we discuss it? Where do we design the applications in Power Apps? That is where exactly, right? Power Apps Studio will comes into the picture. I'm going to open it now. So how do you open it? Make.powerapps.com. It prompts you to provide the credentials. I'll share the credentials in tomorrow's session so you can use it. So this is how the environment looks like. This is our Vinay Tech credentials, which I have used, right? Right. So now go to create. You can create your own different types of applications. And of course, we have templates as well. We have start from the templates. We have built-in templates, which are out of the box models, which comes with the Microsoft, right? We have different data versions and data applications that we have, right? So this is how we use it. For example, when I try to create a new one, you can see three different tabs. Number one, number one, build blank canvas application, right? I'm going ahead and do that. So where you want to see this application, tablet or else a phone? Let's go ahead with a tablet. Demo 2, create it now. Now it opens Power App Studio and it contains gallery where you can see some predefined gallery, or else you can create your own forms, custom forms actually, customization of the forms where you can enter the data, or else we have predefined templates. We call them as gallery, and skip it. Here, see, add an item from the insert pane, or else connect to the data. Connected to the data, right? When you click on this, right, add data. So this is how it looks like. This is how the Power Apps Studio looks like. So what is the IDE for Power Apps application? Where we create the applications now? Power Apps Studio. If someone asks you, hey, where do we prepare the way do you design the way do we develop the applications in Power Apps? Power Apps Studio. This is a web application which is part of your Power Apps. Do you have any questions, guys? Do you have any questions, someone? Do you have any questions, someone? Do you have any questions, someone? That
No
is
question.
what exactly? Yes.
No question.
Okay. That is what exactly we discussed as part of our last session. Okay, I'll share this document, sir. Please have a glance on it, and then we can continue now. I'll share this. When to use the Power Apps and what applications can be integrated and everything. So what do you need to start with the power? What do you need? What exactly you need? What applications? What IDE do we need to start with the Power Apps development process? We need to have Power Apps Studio. which is available in the Power Apps application, which works on Windows 8 and 9. So Power App web application, web URL is Power Apps web URL. This is okay, fine. Power Apps web. So this is the place where you can create the things now. Okay. Any questions, Amma? Before we get into the new topic, if you feel that I'm going fast, then stop me. Are we good, Amma? Do we have any questions, my dear friends? Okay. Next one. Right. So types of apps supported by Power Apps. It supports three types of apps. Number one, Canvas app, model driven, and the portal apps. This is a very, very important interview question. Like what type of apps that is supported by Power Apps? Predominantly Canvas applications and occasionally model driven applications. And portal application is rarely used option. Of course, that varies from requirement to requirement. We can't say concretely. What do you mean by Canvas application? Sir, I have an application where it doesn't require the data, or else I have just like a SharePoint. SharePoint doesn't require the data. It's a shareable place where you can store the files that can be shared to the accessible users sitting in the out. So Canvas application is majorly talks about the UI, user interface. You can create a blank Canvas application and then you can design your own applications by connecting to different data sources, different data sources. And see, in this case, you will start with UI, user interface. Even we can create a Canvas blank application and connect with more than 200 data sources. Canvas application has the capability to connect and store the data from 200 different and multiple data sources. This is really very easy to create the Canvas application for us using SharePoint list or even Excel file. You can connect to any SharePoint where it doesn't deal with the data, or Excel where it doesn't where it deals with the data. We can create an application for mobile, tablet, or for the web as well. We can easily customize the Power Apps Canvas application by using various controls in Power Apps. Okay, right. So that is what exactly we created, my dear friends. That is what exactly we created. Leave it. So let's start with see, create a table, pick an existing one, or else important for example, or else Excel or to create an example application. Right now, see, I'm trying to create an application. Let's create a blank application, Dataverse, blank Canvas application. Right? See, start with a blank screen and design your own application visually by adding components to it when you are ready. Okay, guys? Right. Do you have any questions on the Canvas application? So Canvas application helps us in designing customizable applications, or else you can modify the existing gallery applications. And of course, it can connect to multiple data sources, multiple and different data storages like Excel, flat file, CSV, web archive, and then a SQL server, any database it supports. And Emma, are we good now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. Next one. Model-driven application. So model-driven application is predominantly talking about dataverse. For example, dataverse is, you know, a storage, as we already discussed. Dataverse is a database, RDBMS, where it stores the data in a table. Table contains rows and columns, same as our database. In database, where the data stores in exactly data pages in internally. But being a developer, you should understand where the data stores in rows and columns in a table. Table contains rows and columns, right? So model-driven applications stores the data, handles the data, right? Handles the data that is already being stored in our dataverse. It doesn't connect to other external data sources. Are we clear on the point? For example, I have designed my own dataverse in Power Apps. I have designed my own dataverse, and I have, as part of my data model, I have used 20 different tables. You can use only these 20 different tables, you can't go beyond it. So, because these 20 tables have been stored in a dataverse, model-driven application can connect to only dataverse, right? That stores the data that you would like to use. Are we good with that? Are we good with that?
So this dataverse is only for the database of Power Apps.
Sorry, can you please repeat the question, Amma?
So dataverse is like a database of Power Apps only.
Right, and right. Database for Power Apps. What the applications has been connected in. So it doesn't connect to any external databases or file systems. Make sense, Sudeep?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. Sir, portal application. Portal applications are, for example, I have a SharePoint and for example, I have a SharePoint application. Is this within the bank or else external to the bank? Can this be accessible within the organization or else out of the organization?
Within the organization.
Within the organization. That is what? That is what? Canvas applications support that you can use them within the organization network. Out of the organization, Canvas applications cannot be visible. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Are we good with that?
Yes.
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 Right. But portal applications can be accessible by external websites as well, external users as well. See, Power Apps portal applications will help us to create external facing websites where your external users can sign in with various sign in options and end users can browse constant anonymously. So I can see, for example, Amazon.in is a external application. It's not being used by only internal. This can be used by anyone. So in that case, you can design an application and you can publish it as a portal app. Are we good with all these three? And are we good with these three?
Yes.
Right, right. Sir, I have clearly mentioned it. What is the difference between, because it's one of the interview question and a very, very important interview question. Right. What is the difference between Canvas apps, model-driven apps, and portal apps? Canvas apps can pull the data from many sources, whereas model-driven apps are designed to work with the data source. Yes, you are right. That's what exactly we discussed. if the client has complex data modeling from a single source, that is Dataverse, then model driven applications makes more sense basically. Sir, I have the data where you have complex data modeling concept and the data has been stored in a Dataverse. So which application, what kind of app is useful when you retrieve the data from the Dataverse? That is where exactly multi-driven, no, model-driven applications will come into the picture. If there are any model data sources, multiple data sources outside Dataverse, a Canvas application is the best fit. Simple. I have a requirement to get the data from the SQL server. So what is the best option? What is the best option? Canvas or
Canvas,
else model
Canvas,
driven?
Canvas.
Canvas. Model driven application is to design your own simple, very basic level UI user interface, but you can get the data from external data sources. But Canvas helps us, you can design complex, simple and moderate applications where it connects to multiple and different data sources. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. So I have given the differences between all these three and right? Feature, Canvas app, model driven app, and then portal apps. Right. So low code. Basically, it's a Canvas is a low code, but code is available. You can write your own custom code, right? You have the low code in both the three as well, right? Next one. Use custom user interface design. Yes, Canvas supports custom user interface design, but it's not model driven doesn't support the user interface and the customization of the user interface is not available, but you can, once you design the Canvas application, that Canvas can be call and execute from the model driven applications. Canvas applications can be used in model driven applications, but model driven applications cannot be used in Canvas applications. Cannot be used in Canvas applications. And yes is nothing but like the external large amount of data. No, they see this is not good for large amount of the data and the model and portal applications are good for large amount of the data. Okay, because this deals with the SQL Server or any other databases. It can have any kind of data. But here, since we deal with the external data sources, it's always better to provide the detailed information, so large information. External user facility is only available in portal applications, but not available in current and modern model-driven applications. Responsive design, like a customer interface. Second and last one is both are same and right. So customer responsive. So you can design the apps by using no model driven and then portal applications. Responsive means you can interactive, you can maintain your own events on click, on double click, on right click. All these responsive designs can be implemented in both model driven and portal app applications, but which is not supported by Canvas application. Do we have any questions, guys? Do we have any questions, someone? Friends, do you
This
have any
this
questions?
this kind of situation may also occur, right? When you might be needing to connect to other data sources like SharePoint and all, and as well
Hmm.
as Dataverse also. So can
No,
you
I'm
just
not. I'm not clear with your question, Sudeep. Can you please repeat it?
I mean, this kind of situation may occur, right? I mean, when we need to connect to multiple data sources, and
Hmm.
and in multiple data sources means it might be the SharePoint data sources or Excel data sources,
Right?
and as well as data vars also.
Hmm.
Can this situation occur?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if it occurs, then which app is
that's what. When you talk about the dataverse, we only deal with the model driven. When you talk about the remaining things, we go with the canvas. But we have a feasibility. For example, you have a scenario. Nice question, Sudeep. Right. You have a scenario to get the data from SharePoint list and then SQL Server, right? And then a Dataverse as well. In this case, you go with the Canvas applications and then you design model-driven applications, apps, right? We have a scenario. Canvas applications can be integrated from model-driven applications. You can't directly connect to the SharePoint list or SQL Server. You got my point. You got my point.
but it's the same app, right? Where we need to connect to the both the data sources.
Huh, same app, right? Same app, same app. We have that feasibility.
But here we are using two apps, right? One is for Canvas apps, another is model-driven apps.
Huh. Because you have a requirement to get the data from three different sources.
Hmm.
SharePoint list, SQL Server, and Dataverse. Dataverse is supported by only model driven. Dataverse doesn't support with any other two
External from other data
external.
source.
Huh.
Right.
In that case, SharePoint and a SQL Server, these are all specific to organization. You can't share it to external users, outside organization users. In that case, you can go ahead and create the Canvas application, integrate this with the Dataverse, embed
Okay.
with the Dataverse. Dataverse is nothing but model driven. So initially, I will be designing the model driven applications, and then it uses Canvas applications. Canvas application has been integrated with embedded with the model driven application. This one is having SharePoint and SQL Server, and this one is having model driven application. So you will be having a total end to end application by connecting and extracting the data from different data sources. Are we good with that?
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Sir, I want to show you an administrative tool. See, we have this material, sorry, this one now, course content. Okay, right. So we are at this position, admin part, admin tool. Sir, what is the admin tool? Where can you see that? admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com/home is the home folder. This is the place where you can perform administrative activities on Power Apps application, right? So here, Power Platform admin center is the place to manage the users, environments, policies, and more. Number one, manage the users. What do you mean by that? You can grant the users to access the reports, to access the application, sorry. You can grant the users to access the applications at a data level or else a row level. So, for example, Sudeep has created a application. I can't access it. Grant me access as well. Who can does that? Like administrator is only the person who can access the access provision. Yes, access management activities are completely takes care by admin part. Next one, environments. Sir, for example, try to understand it, Amma. Environments. For example, I'm owning an organization where you can see different departments. Okay, where you have different departments. Different departments. Okay. HR department, finance department, and then travel department, travel desk department, and transport. All these three are the different departments we have. Now, since we have three different departments, I will create a workspace for this specific to HR, where they can design the applications and deploy their applications on their own space. You will not be having the privilege to get into the finance department being a HR. Transport guy can log into only his transport department, but not to finance or HR departments. Are we good, Andy? So here we call it as a tenant. My apartment is a group apartment where you can see 8 flats. So directly I can log into my home. I can't go to others' home now. So I'm a tenant of the total flat. I'm the environment of the total flat. Environment can be a development environment, yeah, a different environments what we create over here. For example, like a dev, SIT, UAT, and production environments, right? In few organizations, we call it as no, environment or also tenant as well. In UiPath terminology, we call it as a tenant blockage, blocks, but here it is a environment. So you can create your own environments, but usually admin will take care of all these things. Admin will take care of all these things. So this is my development environment. India or else default type. What kind of type it is? What kind of developer is and purpose to develop the applications, canvas and model driven or else portal applications. Add Dataverse to status store, pay as you go with Azure. This is linked with your money, credit card. And I don't want to add the Dataverse to data store. Okay, and click next. And language, currency, amount, and URL. Deploy sample applications and data. So you can create different environments and publish your applications from environment to environment. Environment to environment. Are we good, Amma? So in the development environment, he is the developer. We can do some operations like open resources, right? What kind of resources again? Settings, back to restore, copy, reset, delete, and history of the things. So history means remaining things are pretty much clear, sir, and simple and straightforward. And history is nothing but like you can maintain the version history. For example, yesterday I logged in and I deleted a report, or else a web application, or else something. So that can be tracked by using these dates, basically history. When did we, who modified? When did he modified? Like when did he created it? When did he modify it? So four options: created date, created by, modified date, modified by. Four different options. So that it maintains the total history. Okay, guys, this is our admin tool. Again, we'll be revisiting that, guys. We'll be revisiting that. So this is the place where we create the resources. When I say resources are Dynamics 365 apps and Power Pages steps. Data integration, we can see multiple options over here. Data, policies, and then administrative centers. We can see different options. So this is about administrator center. So this is the place where exactly we can grant and access the permissions to allowing the user to do some view the data available in the dataverse or any other database applications or file systems. Right. And now, sir, let us go to Power Apps. Power Apps. So this is how the Power Apps environment looks like. You can create a new app, right? So this is a blank application. I think we have already created it. We don't have it. Okay, let's now see. This is a blank application. We have three types of applications: Canvas application, model driven, and data pages like portal applications. Canvas application we are very much clear, I guess. Canvas like Dataverse build app based on the Dataverse is nothing but Dataverse is nothing but the database level, right? So now an application where it connects to Dataverse, right? Where the data is being used by any other application is nothing but Dataverse. If you want to go ahead and create the applications and grant the access to external out of the organization users, then we go for this one. Create a no-code website for external audience, and then customize it to get the features and look at what you want. So create this Canvas application and see, as we discussed, application Power Apps can be deployed either in devices or else mobile applications. So now let's go ahead with that. Demo 2. Now you can see the total environment. So as we all know, Power Apps is a cloud-based low-code, no-code platform where you can design the applications, any kind of applications, I know, without writing a single line of code by drag and drop it. So application is opening now. Canvas application environment is opening now. Sir, from tomorrow onwards, I'm going to start the scenarios, Sandy. I'm going to start the scenarios. Now see, environment is vinaytechhouse.com is the default one. So we don't have any departments, categorization, right? That's the one. See, this environment is having spaces. Environment means a space, a workspace, where you can create your own, create, store, and work with the data and apps is nothing but an environment. We have only one development environment, right? And this is the name of the development is your admin is the one which we have, which is being created. Admin is the one which is being created by, this one is created by admin. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, yeah, yeah. The environment is development. Your role is admin. And data platform is Dataverse, where exactly you want to store the data. And the environmental type is the developer. Okay, leave that. And then create it. So you can create a blank application. Or else we have system defined templates. Budget tracker, the templates. Loading, loading, loading. Now, sir. Now, sir. You can skip this. Add my own, make my own app. Make my own app. To make sure own your own versions of this app by connecting to the different data storages, right? Such as OneDrive or else OneDrive for business, anything. So now go with my own app. So now where do you want to store it? Where do you want to store it? OneDrive. Yes. It connects to my OneDrive. Yes. Stay signed in. I think it is expired. I need to log into that. I need to log into that. License. Okay, I'll look into that. It's been expired, I guess. Sir, here, this is totally a form where you can see different types of screens basically, right? Yes, let it add. It's trying to connect to it. Do you have any license agreement or something? Oh, okay, I'll look into that. Come on, come on. Come on, yeah. Why are you taking so long time? Okay, sir. Let it load. Let it load. Yeah. Budget tracker. Yes. Skip it. My apps and then OneDrive. Create an app in the development environment. It is loading now. And this is how we preview the report. F5 is the like fix the connection. Okay. I think we need to log into this one. I need to upgrade this one. Okay, leave that, leave that, leave that. Okay, right. So this is how the total environment looks like, and you can publish this. You don't have anything, and you have different modes, basically phone mode, right? We have different modes, right? And then tablet mode, and then this is desktop mode, browser mode. So so this browser is nothing but it can be internal or external application. It can be anything. So a single application can be visualized or else browsed in three modes: mobile, web applications, browser-based applications. Right? Right. Right, sir. It's not working, right? We'll start the scenarios from tomorrow onwards. First scenario, and then we have the screenshots. So I'm going to explain all these things from tomorrow onwards. Right, guys? Yes. So I need to rush to office. And tomorrow onwards, we will be having the session between 8 and 9. Since it is demo, we have at 9, 10, between 10 and 11. But from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the actual sessions between 8 and 9. So I'm going to stop the recording.